Welcome to Underground Crypto Deep Dive Research Show. Today is all about that Flare network, and I'm having a slight technical issue here. I'm going to try to solve it as soon as we get started. So let's see what happens. All right, so you can see my screen. That works out well, but you can't see me, which is problematic, I like to think. So let me try something real quick. This might be a simple fix. Might as well get it out of the way up front. Don't you go nowhere. We're going to launch right into this stream in just a second. Oh, but when I launch it, then it's not going to be dialed in like I need it to be. That is very problematic. How much time do I really want to spend on this? That's the question. All right, let's see. Can I fix? Go ahead and take that off. Let me see if I can fix the filters on it real quick. It should only take a second. And how's everybody doing out there? Sorry, I hate having to try to fix these things on the fly. It is such a pain. But I got that chat up. Shout out to Melissa, Blues Guy. Wallace King, what's up? Sorry, we're having a slight technical issue. It won't hurt our show. I have a backup and all of that jazz, so no worries. But yeah, we do have a Discord server. If one of my mods could link that Discord server, I would greatly appreciate that. Wish I knew how to do this just a little bit quicker. We're going to have a very long stream, so really don't go nowhere. We got a lot of stuff. I got a great stream put together for us tonight. I was not expecting to have to do this right now. All right. Well, we're just going to abandon this idea because this is taking entirely too long. And we are just going to switch to our other camera and hope that that is working as well. That's why you have two cameras, I guess. All right, there we go. Usually I switch between my two cameras for stand-in. Whoop, the desk moved a little farther than it was supposed to. All right, let's pretend like none of that technical stuff just happened and hop in as usual, as if nothing even happened. Yes, today we are going to be talking about the Flare ecosystem. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm going to head and pin that Discord so that everybody can refer to that later. Thank you, Blues Guy, for doing that. So now the Discord is pinned in the top. And as we get a lot of people coming in, I'm sure that who asked about the Discord is good. But, you know, be careful about any links that you're clicking on, guys, in the Discord if they're not somebody who you know and have already interacted with, correct? Got me? All right, good. So let's hop right into it. What's going on in crypto right now? There's a lot of things that I'm going to be introducing into the stream tonight and as we go forward, kind of some announcements, and I'll be putting that out there. Wallace King, I hope you're going to stick around for the rest of the stream, but I'm very glad that you went ahead and joined our Discord. We're all about crypto research here and raising your crypto IQ. So Canton Network, and then first we kind of go over what's trending, what's going on in crypto right this second before we get into the heavy crypto IQ raising event, right? So let's talk about Canton Network up 8.5%. It's still holding 105% on the month and 53.7, on the week. I do apologize, I've come off a little bit flustered. I was doing a lot of stuff before the stream to be real ready, so we're going to have a great stream, but that technical issue really threw me for a loop. Chili's is up 6.6, Memecore up 6.9, MYX up 8.5. I have a bone to pick with Memecore and specifically MemeX, and I will get into that later for sure. So we got Fast Token up 63.9%. This token always feels like it's all over the place. As it is up 63.9% today, it's still down 17.7% on the weekly. Then we have River up 110% today. It was trending yesterday. We did briefly mention it. We didn't go over it in detail as we've been over this project many times. Let me fix my mic. It went up to $12.67, and it is chilling right now at $10.67. So it's down $2 from its high. You got AMP. AMP, I haven't heard anybody say anything about AMP in a very long time. I actually do hold some that have been underwater for a while, so I hope that that thing just keeps ripping. We got Go Mining, very much about an application on your phone for mining. I don't have all the deets on it. It's up 22% today when as high as 50 cents. Then of course we have Origin Trail, which is a very interesting project that we've been over before. It is up 12.8% on the day, and we're going to drop down one more 100 and then we'll move on here. Litecoin, look at that thing. Litecoin is up 319%, which is crazy because this thing came out at, here, let's go to the monthly, which is probably the same as the weekly. Okay, nope. So it came out at $4, or had a high, I'm sorry, had a high of $4.72. All right. My mic check is good. All right, so BitLight is still up 68% on the month. It claims, as it says that it came out, let's go to year to date, and then maybe we get something a little more accurate here. I don't usually use crypto bubbles for this information. It says it came out at like $1. I wonder if that lines up with CoinGecko. Let's pull this thing up on CoinGecko real quick and go to max chart. Okay, they have it coming out September 26, 2025 at 81 cents. Oh, I know what's going on. This is BitLight, and I'm thinking a lighter. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Now I have cleared up my own confusion that I created all by myself. But yeah, that's the big one in your 200 to 300 by market cap here. Let's go ahead and move right along over to CoinGecko. Let's do our price rundown, right? So Bitcoin is at 87,743. It's down 0.9, almost 1% in the last 24 hours. Still green on the last 7 days, but just barely 0.3%. Ethereum, 2,980, so it's up a hair, but barely, literally up 0.1% on the last 24 hours, but it's still up 1.4% in the last 7 days. BNB is I'm reading XRP. XRP is $1.84, and it's down 2.1% today. BNB is at $868.94. Call it $869 if you will. Solana, $125, just down a hair today, but the last 7 days it's up 2.7%. Dogecoin still bleeding out. It's at 11 cents, kind of a high 11 cents, almost 12 cents, but it's down 7.7% in the last 7 days, and it's down 4.3% today. That's not cool. I'd like to see Dogecoin come back a little bit like that. Cardano, 33 cents, down 6.3% in the last 7 days. Get through some of these wrapped assets and stable coins. Chainlink, $12.23, down 1.5% in the last 24 hours. Zcash, crowd favorite for sure, is down 3.8% in the last 24 hours, but is up 14.5% in the last 7 days at $510. Monero, kind of a second close favorite there in the same vein, $429, and it's down 1.9% in the last 24 hours, but only down 0.7% in the last 7 days. XLM, 20 cents, down 4.2% in the last 7 days. Hyperliquid, $25.83. This thing is up 4% in the last 7 days. Not crazy numbers for crypto, but green is green. And at this point in the market, I feel like we'll take it, right? As long as it's green. Canton Network, we already referred to, up 55% in the last 7 days, 8.4% in the last 24 hours at 16 cents. And it is already, this thing came out not that long ago, and it's already number 31 by market cap with $5.8 billion in its market cap. That's an accomplishment for sure. See if it can hold on. Avalanche, $12.30. SWE, which I have a little bit of, $1.41, and really looking dismal. It's down 2.9% today. Looks like a lot of your altcoins had small pullbacks today, and that can happen sometimes when Bitcoin goes sideways, or even Bitcoin gets a little bit of a pump, money rolls into Bitcoin. A lot of times people pull that money out of altcoins. HBAR, 10 cents. And let's see what's happening to Flare, which is the topic of the day here. So let's see what happened. It's still at 105. It has fallen out of the top 100. It's down 7.8%. But man, is there a lot of really cool stuff to show you about Flare. So I wouldn't let that bother you. Really, it's fallen, like 6 positions. So that's not really anything I would be overly concerned about. So let's go into what's trending. Of course, Lighter is trending. Lighter is what, in my mind, I quickly got turned around with BitLight, which ticker is Light. Anyways, Lighter hasn't even been around 7 days. That's why the chart for Light was confusing me a little bit. $2.39. It has seen some drawdown since it came out. Let's go ahead and pull up this chart here. $2.39. Max chart for CoinGecko says December 30th, 2025, literally yesterday on the token generation event. And it was at $3.37 at that point. And it has just kind of been trending down since then. Is it going to bottom? Have we found a bottom? I don't know, but you're down 28.9% from the token generation event. So 597.3, if that matters to you, million in its market cap, a billion max supply, circulating supply 250 million. So it is 1/4 or 25% vested. That means only 25% of the supply is actually out, 75% of it to come into circulation at an unknown time, right? We don't know what that is. Let me check out this chat real quick and see what's going on. It says, take me to the river. BitLight, Lighter, Litecoin. Yeah, exactly. My second biggest bag is Canton. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully it can do well. It is already a large market cap, so it'll be interesting to see kind of where it goes from here. I don't know when you got into it, right? All right. So let's move along with the what is trending. Of course, Ethereum is trending. It's just threatening to break that $3,000 mark, that psychological mark there. I'm hoping that it will do that sooner than later. Monad, Melissa, she loves that coin. We really associate her with Monad here. 7.3% in the last 7 days. AIXBT, I haven't heard that one in a while. It's up 21% in the last 7 days, up 12.7% in the last 24 hours. We got Aster, River just crushing it, up 200% in the last 7 days. And Pudgy Penguin Zcash. At this point, when we're looking at trending, we're really looking at things that we don't know what they are, right? Because we're looking at deep dive projects. We don't know what they are. Maybe they've came up a long time ago and most people have forgotten. Then we might still look at it. This Eliza OS we really spent some time on yesterday. I did clip some of that from yesterday and make it a reel. So again, our topic of the day. And I had to reboot my computer and everything. I was messing with my camera that wasn't working. So I'm going to have to get those talking points to the right part so that we can pull them up. Anyways, Fear and Greed Index is at 20. And yesterday it says it was at 21. I'm pretty sure it was at 20 yesterday, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. But the last 7 days in the month, it has been at 23. And from there, we're going to jump over to what is trending on Crypto Rank. And I really do want to get through a lot of this stuff quickly because I have a lot of stuff to go over with you guys. A lot of information about this Flare ecosystem. and I'm trying to get my notes where they're supposed to be. So just hang on 1 second, talks amongst yourselves. How's everybody feeling? We are going to do the founders, which I think is always a hilarious name, for the segment where we go deep dive some of the team, the leading team behind a project. Should we do Flare? I almost feel like that would make almost too much sense. Can we do something that makes that much sense? I don't know if we could do that. All right, I'm almost there. Like I said, I had a lot of notes and stuff to go over tonight, and it's taken me a minute to get all the way back through them. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up when I add it. You get all the way to where you want to be, and then you add it back here, and it just moves to wherever it wants to be. Yep, it sure did. Cool. Gotta love that. Okay, those are our call to actions, right? So here we are. The original problem Flare was built around, right? So why every good company, no matter where they are, they have a problem to solve, right? So if they don't have a problem to solve, well, they're probably not a company that's really worth looking at. I don't give financial advice, so I won't tell you what to buy or not buy, but I will say, if there's a company and I see that the problem that they're solving is weak, not a lot of people maybe even see it as a problem, and their solution maybe is weak as well, one or the other, if not both, then I'm out on that project. So the original problem that Flare was built around. Most blockchains were designed with core assumptions. Computation and execution come first. Data comes later. Ethereum and the ecosystem that followed prioritized smart contract execution, composability, and on-chain logic. But they largely treated external data as something to be bolted on afterwards, right? It was an afterthought. Flare was founded on the idea that data is not auxiliary, but is foundational. So you can see the shift, right? You can see how it's totally different. For Flare, they're all about data. And you will continue to see this as we deep dive this project, and you see the way that this project is built around. And obviously, forgive me for all the fireworks if you hear them in the background. It is New Year's in America where I am, so there's going to be some fireworks. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. It says, I'm just doing great. How are you, Underground and Blues? Hey, I'm awesome. Where is all of our people? I didn't post in the Discord that we went live. Mods, if you see that I don't do that and you think about it, not really trying to dish out, responsibilities or anything, but if you see that I haven't done that, go ahead and go ahead and put, we are live. Then you want to hit at everyone so that everybody can see that. It is New Year's. We almost should have done this stream another day. In retrospective, it feels like, oh, she said that you did. All right, I see that the new person came in, said hello. Hopefully you're still in the stream. I see that you said that you did, Melissa. Awesome. Says we make money ? Very interesting. Maybe somebody could tell him that we are very much about research. Bankroll's in there posting a lot of stuff. That's why we gave him his own section, right? All right, let's get back over to what's trending as we move through our regular stuff in the beginning of the show. Looks like a lot of the same stuff that we went through yesterday. Jesse Pollock, who is one of the main people over at Coinbase with all the stuff that they do. That's who he is, the meme coin. And his website, last time I looked, was unavailable. Katana Inu is a game that's not working, so I'm not going to waste time on that. We make money on Flare, easy. I mean, if you're just not really putting any parameters around it and you're just saying, do we make money? Yeah, you could stake something anywhere and technically make money, right? We're all about education, though. Making money is an after factor, but it's the education, in my opinion, that helps you understand how to make money in this market. API 3, Base Brett. We have White Bridge. Oh, White Bridge coming back around. I remember that one. Did I buy some White Bridge live? Feel like I might have. It's still down in the last 7 days. I don't know why it's trending. Access Protocol, we talked about how the name didn't really fit the project, so I was pretty much out on that. Noise was an interesting project as well. Wing Finance. I'm not really seeing anything that I haven't gone over. And like I said, we have a really great topic tonight, so I'm not going to spend too much time on these. This OOOO, I can't get with the name because I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it quadruple O. Is a modular omni-chain interoperable protocol supporting Bitcoin ecosystem. So I'd call it Bitcoin DeFi. It's at 4.4 million in market cap, been as high as almost 8 million, 7.97. So call it 8 million. The chart doesn't look all that great. It's a newer token. And that's really all there is to report on that. We'll keep an eye on it, but I don't see a lot of great price action, right? Hasn't even been around 7 days. We don't even have a number for it over there. Architect, Zama, Fannable is a collectible thing. Midnight, kind of the hottest project out in the Cardano ecosystem right now. Zero Base, we went over. Okay, this is the only thing that I see that we have not gone over yet. So we'll do our due diligence here. Yeah, too bad Katana isn't working. I also tried. Yeah, I got to go try to like delete Katana in you for like the 5th time, re-download it, and I'll do that like once every like 2-3 weeks. But what I didn't realize about Katana Inu is that project has actually been around for a while, and so the fact that it's been around for a while kind of tells me it might not get their act together. Bankroll in the house, what's up? Bankroll, I had an idea for a little bit of a segment in the stream where I'm gonna go to your channel in the Discord, your link, your tab, let's call it a tab, your tab in the Discord, and kind of look at what you've been talking about, kind of live on stream. What do you think of that? Is that a good thing? Should I be worried about a bunch of profanity in there? Let me know. Or should I be all good to do that? I didn't even think about there being like, but I mean, this is not a child show, so I'm also not worried about it either. This show, I don't see many children being interested in this show. Just doing something in the background for a half a second here, guys. Says I'm down, no should be good. Okay, cool. Thanks for giving me that confidence boost right there. All right, cool. All right, let's get back to where we were. So we were talking about this project Infinex. So it's a decentralized exchange offering a user-friendly trading experience similar to centralized exchange. Infinex I've heard of before. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think this exchange has been around for a while, but at the same time, there's so many exchanges, it's hard to keep them all straight. It says they've raised $5 million. Yeah, and that's all it says, $5 million and an ICO from Echo, and they have a 1-year lockup on all tokens purchased. Synthonex, okay, so maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Aimed at providing user experience similar to centralized exchanges. We could go check out the Twitter and see what kind of attention they got going on. So 81.1 thousand, that's not too bad. They're trending up to 100,000. A new kind of wallet designed to defrag your crypto life. Passkey first. Unified portfolio trading built in. And it's funny that it would come across, some trading and some decentralized exchange, because one thing that we're definitely going to be adding is some demo trading, right? And I'll be doing that over on Weeks. Can tease that just a little bit here. All right. So the Infinex scale is open for registration. So I guess very similar to how Lighter, kind of rolled out. It sounds like maybe they're going to follow that kind of thing, where it's open for sale. Oh, this is for the sale. I was thinking it was open to registration to use. Well, the biggest thing here is pin post December 27, 37,000 impressions out of 81,000. That's not so bad. They have a little bit of attention, but what I kind of want to see here is their website. All right, so get Infinex. I knew that the whole being New Year's Eve was going to be a big make or break for tonight's stream. I really am almost like, man, I wish that we were doing this a different night. So future is promising at UDS. A lot going on. Exciting, bro. We'll just have to, guys, in the Discord, for all the people who were not here, who are regulars, you might want to encourage them to go and watch this stream tomorrow when you see them, when you know that they missed it, because this is a big one, right? Change the way you crypto. Here's their website. They have a link to get Infinex, but at perps, launch the app. Okay, and it's powered by Hyperliquid. That's a good takeaway here when you're kind of putting this in a category. It's a decentralized exchange, but it's powered by Hyperliquid. All they have is BTC. That's it. They just have BTC. That's it. Wow, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I guess if you log in, maybe they have some other stuff. Okay, no. I'm just clicking the wrong thing. Got you. ETH, BTC, Hyperliquid, obviously, Sol, ZEC, Zcash, XRP, and a whole host of other ones. Yeah, they have lots of stuff on here. Okay, that's cool. And it just keeps going. Wow. So they do have a lot of stuff on here. I stand corrected there. And it looks like a decentralized exchange, right? You can change your margin side. You can short, you can long, you can market in, limit in, stop market, all of that stuff. Isolated. Obviously, you can go cross margin if you know what all those things are. It looks interesting, but at this point, there's too many decentralized exchanges. So I'm going to be rather picky about where I choose to actually trade at. Cool. And so speaking of trading, let's go to the Discord and pull up Bankroll's chat here. Let me scroll back. Let me port it over so maybe you can see what he's saying. Bankroll is somebody who's been extremely active in our community, and I figured it would be good to shout him out and see maybe what he's talking about, what he is doing over here in the Discord. And we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. Let's see what he's got going on. So first, I see he's talking about this Soul Camel. Another, oh, this is Jason Fury. I thought it was Matt Fury that did all of the other memes, right? So whoever Jason Fury is. Okay, Matt Fury art. Okay, so there's a degen meme play that he's putting out. Again, this is just somebody who's very active in the community, and he's always talking about a bunch of different things. So I just gave him his own tab. All of this stuff is not financial advice. You do what you want with your own money, and that should really be without being said, right? Talk about Asia hours. Got you, Blues. 1 sec. Here is a pump call. What was this for? It's got a lot going on his charts here. Oh, it's literally for pump. Okay. I didn't know if he was like a call for it to pump or if it was actually called pump. So then we got Druth Crypto. Give us your main questions about Canton Network. I know that Bankroll is, very excited about Canton Network and its association with even like the XRP community and stuff like that. Got some more charts on Canton Network here. He's got levels. I'm not going to like critique his TA or anything like that. That would take a bunch of time. And I'm just trying to show you that, he is posting a lot. He is saying a lot of different things here. He's talking about a Soul Long. He's in other groups where I know he gets a lot of great information as well. So I'm just encouraging everybody to support somebody who's been a great member of the community. Check out what he's got going on. Get involved with what he's got going on. If you have some things you want to say, maybe you have something you want him to look at. And yeah, that's just how we build community in the underground Discord. All right, let me get us back to where we were. Cool. And then we will move right along. So where do we go from here? Well, I believe from here we jump over to the demo trading. And I am playing around a lot with the flow of the show. So we will be doing some different things. So first off, before we even jump over to weeks, first you'll see that I did jump into, and this is a demo trade, guys, just so everybody's aware that this is demo trading. I see and I'm going to pull up TradingView so I can actually maybe kind of show you guys in a little more detail what I'm looking at. Probably not going to be focusing on a whole lot of coins to trade, mostly because in the demo trading over on weeks, you can only demo trade BTC and ETH, right? But we do have something that we're going to be rolling out tonight that will help us look at some other things that maybe we can demo trade or live trade as well. This is not a trading channel. Always shout out to, you guessed it, the Lifer over on YouTube, where we hang out in the mornings in his stream. He is the TA master. I've been following him he's been my mentor for a long time, even before I ever knew him personally. And so I highly encourage everybody to join that stream in the morning and hang out with us. Let me get us over to TradingView. Bang, there we are. So this is what I noticed. I noticed it first on Solana. This is BTC 15-minute, right? I mean, if this isn't the kind of most obvious inverted head and shoulder ever, I don't know what it is. And I think I got into my trade somewhere in this circle here. And we can go ahead and pull that measured move there. And then move your measured move up to the neckline. And then let's add our level there. So we're looking for a move to break above the 200 to get us up back to about 88,338. Thank you, brother. Absolutely, man. We're going to put work in 2026. Exactly. And we're kicking off the new year. So many things that we're introducing to the stream. We got a lot of great members. I was on a call today with Blues Guy when he was, telling me a lot of the sauce, because Flare is one of his favorite things. And so he was giving me a lot of the, down low on everything going on over there, so I could really give some good insight here on the stream. And so, yeah, it's just kicking off the year. We got a lot of things coming, a lot more pre-recorded videos. Me and Blues Guy are going to be working on some things. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. He said, you're doing good at that one guy. Yeah, he is doing great. I'm very glad to have him in the community. Input week's link on your YouTube. It ain't here. Oh, snap. I will do that. Don't let Underground fool you. He's a go at TA. I've learned a lot. Let's put it that way. I do my best. I don't know if I would say I was a goat at it. I certainly have not made myself millions of dollars off of no TA. So there's still a lot of milestones for me when it comes to my technical analysis journey. If you want to know who the real goat is, it's the Lifer. And I owe everything I know to him. Anyways, so what I noticed right off bat here is we are a little bit far away from the 21. And everything that I'm saying, if anybody ever likes my TA, this is Lifer TA. Now, this is like all I do is Lifer TA. You got your inverted head and shoulder. We pulled our measured move. If you're a little bit conservative, I got in, when I saw, okay, let's talk about this. In an inverted head and shoulder, you're not trying to get in here. I mean, I guess you could. It wouldn't be the worst thing. I'd wait for the 21 to come up, right, and interact with this price action. But if you get in normally on the bottom of what looks like the second shoulder, so you have your shoulder, head, and shoulder, and when you see that second shoulder forming, so shoulder, head, and that second shoulder kind of takes that low, that's generally where you're trying to get in. Now, if you didn't get into this, what I'd probably look at is coming down to the 5 minute, right? And I would look for the 5 minute to get above, and you could do the same thing with the 1 minute. The cool thing is the strategy here is pretty much exactly the same, regardless of what time frame you're on. But you'd be looking for the 5 minute to break above the 200, flag out, and the 21 to come up and meet it. When the 21 touches price action above the 200-day moving average, that's usually where the move comes in. Now, nothing is guaranteed in crypto, right? Let's just kind of put that first and foremost. So one thing I want to point out, Bitcoin kind of runs the show. And when Bitcoin is doing something, everything usually kind of follows along at that point. So I actually first noticed this let me get rid of a lot of this stuff here, over on Solana. So here we are, port over to Solana, and you can see that same head and shoulder. I noticed it when I was talking to Blues Guy. And I'll bring it back up when we're, where we need to be. Technically, what you could see here is a falling wedge, right? And price action at 21 starting to come up on the 15 minute there. I don't know if I'd grab it just yet. It is above. You have tight moving averages. Something Lifer always says, tight moving averages, right? With price action coming down, interacting with the 21, and then you should get a move from there. But you do want to pay attention. This is the 15. You kind of want to go over to like the 5, right? Because if you look at it, the 5 has lost the 200. So you might want to be a little bit weary of this move, right? Or have a really nice tight stop loss, rather here or here. I wouldn't go too much farther than that. I think it's potential for downside whenever you have your price action under the 200 of, say, like the 5 minute or the 15 or even the 1 minute. Are you above? You're just hanging out there. So it does kind of, in my opinion, change the trade. It changes how, bullish I am. But if you got in, on the shoulder here, you were significantly up. And what would you have noticed here? I just want to kind of point this out. Again, this is all Lifer vision. This is all what Lifer teaches. If you want to know it in more detail, go check out the Lifer. But right here, right, you pumped. And hopefully you got in here, or you got in here, or anywhere on this move, right? And you see in this moment here, you were far away from the 21. And when you get far away from the 21, in my opinion, it's usually good up here somewhere. Take your profits. If you're not going to take your profits, at least sell when you lose that 200. When you lose that 200, I would walk away and sell. I'd be in a gain. I probably would have already moved my take profit for sure. You do have one thing I notice here. It looks like a bit of a support and resistance flip. You can see that it was resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and then you flipped it. And is it going to give you support now at this point? I don't know. But this is for Solana. My point was, a lot of times when Bitcoin makes the pattern, they all start making the same pattern. Now let's go over and pull up ETH. Again, I'm really only going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ETH. Why are we doing this? Just because I'm having some fun doing some demo trading. As we move into the new year, I might add some funds and actually do a little more legitimate trading. But this is not a trading channel. Just know a lot of you guys love it. So it's playing exactly the way you said it would. Well, I love when that works out, right? We gave a soul call in the group and it's cooking. Yep. Yes, indeed, bro. Nice call. Not telling you what to do, but you might want to move yourself, your take profits, rather so they're not so deep or so that they're break even, right? All right, let's see if ETH did the same thing here. I want to go to the 15 minute. That's what I want to look at. And look at that. Who would have guessed that it's doing pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin is? The only thing about ETH, though, is it's making an inverted head and shoulder above the 200 on the 15 minute, which makes me quite a bit more bullish. Like, let's go to the 5. Okay, it is playing around on the 5. It just looks a little bit nicer, in my opinion. Because what do you have? Oh, I'm on the 3 minute. That's hilarious. But that 3 minute, I liked it. I like to use the 3 minute. Not everybody loves these odd things, but because I've been following the Lifer for so long, he definitely has turned me on to some weird time frames like the 3 minute, the 7 minute. Here's your measured move. We're talking about ETH to $2,996. If you go to like the 15 minute and we get rid of that TA because I don't want to look at it, come over here and let's pull that measured move on the inverted head and shoulder. And again, guys, I'm just doing the best that I can on what I know. If it's not perfect, that's because it's not a TA channel, and I'm not giving you guys calls. I'm not trying to constantly disclaimer. I'm just trying to say, guys, like that this is just what I know. So $2,997 here in the 15-minute. We could get up to there. And if you can imagine, if you think like a market maker, there's a lot of liquidity up over here, and it could possibly pull up there, grab liquidity, and go somewhere else and go to the next liquidity. So be careful is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, with all that being said, I'm going to show you guys now why I even bothered to bring that up, as we don't normally do that in our streams. And that's because I'm going to be doing just a little bit of fun demo trading. Here's one bone that I kind of have to pick with exchanges, right? So they have demo trading. And then when you first hop in the demo account, right? You've never been in it before. You go to, futures, and it drops down, and you go to demo. And now you're in the demo account because you're like, I'm going to test a theory or something like that. You're going to take a trade that you think is real dicey, but you kind of want to track it and see how it plays out. They automatically give you 50,000 USDT. If I'm really trying to try a strategy or something, I want to see if I can turn $200 into something, because I don't got $50,000 into the market. So it kind of skews, in my opinion, in a big way. And so one thing is, like, when you run out of money, then you can add money, right? And once you run out of money, you can add money, and then you can choose how much money you want to add. So then once I basically get this account liquidated, it's on demo, so of course I could do that on purpose. Then I could add in specifically what I want, like $500 or $1,000 or something reasonable that I would probably actually be trading with. So we're trading just as we actually would. I'm not actually trying to get liquidated on purpose, but I went ahead and took the trade for BTC, right, with the full port. Not something I would normally do. It's a demo trade, if I need to say that again. And right now you'd be, with $50,000 on 10x, you'd be up $1,600.58 I should already have a take profit in here. I think I do. Maybe not. It doesn't say that I do. Okay, so our take profit. No, I put a stop loss in. That's what it is. So let's pull our measured move. Okay, go ahead and roughly grab the neckline there. It's got a very odd neckline. It's more of a cup, but that would take us to 88,500. And for me, I would go ahead and just, okay, I understand. Go ahead and put that in. So our take profit is 88,500. At that point, you would make $4,211, only up 8.5%. Now, in real life, as this moved up, I probably would add a trailing stop loss. If you've ever used a trailing stop loss, I would probably put moving my stop loss into break even, and then keep moving it up to lock in profit, but leave myself far enough away that I'm not going to get caught unless we do like a crazy wick real quick. Another thing that I kind of see here, it looks like it's been kind of negated, would be like one of these. If you don't count that one wick, broken pattern trading, you would say. And if you were looking at it more like that, it is interesting because your measured move would be a little smaller. But I digress. Again, I'm a novice at trading, guys. So I just wanted to do that. I thought it would be fun to add this segment. We are going to trade some real funds, right, at some point here. So now we have our take profit. Let's see if we can hit it. Let's see how it goes. We only need to go to 88,500. And from there, we are going to talk about our IQ raising event of the day. That one guy says paid. Remember, it's a demo account with $50,000 in it. Like, it's almost hard not to make a couple grand off of that. But it's also easy to lose way too much money. So market makers, I always imagine a guy in front of a giant computer clicking buttons. It's all AI, algorithmic. I can't speak. What is going on? CC is cooking, soul, cheese, long, and lighter, short, all hit at least one take profit. Nice. And then what, you left a runner going? That one guy, he does pretty well. Says, damn, you paid. I agree. Yes, full port. Yeah, normally I would never full port a $50,000 portfolio. That is a horrible idea. Bands, make them dance. Dude, you taught me divergence. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. I know a couple of things. What's the amount you put in trade and leverage? Hard to see, it's small. So it's 50K, but it's not, it's a demo account, Blues Guy, meaning it's fake money. That's why when you look at it, it says USDT. It's like a fake stable coin, or, you know, and it's just a demo so that you can demo trade and try out different things. So it's not a real bet. You placed a 50 bet. Yeah, make it real though, as if it was US more realistic. Blues Guy, I did just explain that. So when you go to like almost any exchange, right, and you just click demo account, they automatically have $50,000 loaded in it. Then once you lose that or get liquidated, what a lot of times I'll do is I'll go to the demo account on an exchange and I'll just put in something ridiculous. I'll put like the highest leverage, the opposite direction that I think it's going to go, and then I'll get the port liquidated on the demo, because then when I go back and I hit the plus and I can add in the fake money, then I can add exactly what I want. Basically what I was saying earlier is I don't understand why they don't just let you add what you want to the demo account. Why do they preload you with 50,000? I don't know if they're trying to wow you, you know, they're trying to get you like excited because you can trade with 50,000 and you can make it, turn it into $1 million. I don't know what the deal is there. Anyways, we're going to change direction. We're going to change pulse a little bit. Is that I know that I mean a bet of 100 or 50 bucks like we would the small guys, because basically I want that port to get liquidated. I want the port to get liquidated so that I can add in, you know, again, demo. I want to add in what I want, and then we can trade like we actually would. I'm just showing it for the first time today, and I wanted to actually take the actual trade. Later on tonight or something, I'll probably just do something ridiculous and then get it, you know, reset. That way I can do that. It says I don't get it. LOL. I demo trade on MEXC for a while. Yeah, I've demo traded in a lot of places, and they're all a little different, but I wish they would just let you choose how much money you want to put in the demo portfolio from the beginning and not just preload it. Had to put myself in timeout a couple of times and go demo trade. Yeah, it's definitely worth doing. So the original problem with Flare was it was built around most blockchains were designed with a core assumption. Computation and execution comes first. Data comes later. Ethereum and the ecosystem that followed it prioritized smart contract execution, composability, and on-chain logic. But they largely treated external data as something to be bolted on afterwards. Flare was founded on the idea that data is not an auxiliary, but is foundation. Right, it's not an add-on. So why data is the hardest problem in blockchain? Blockchains are deterministic systems. They are very good at verifying transaction, enforcing rules, reaching consensus. They are very bad at knowing what happens outside the chain, accessing real-world information, and verifying on-chain state. This creates a tension. Blockchain needs data they cannot natively trust. The Oracle bottleneck. Most blockchains rely on external Oracle networks. This introduces additional trust assumptions, dependency on third-party infrastructure, and economic and governance complexity. Oracles often become centralized points of failure, powerful intermediaries, and critical attack surfaces. Flare's core insight was that oracles should not be external add-ons, right? It's like a hiccup coming from that coffee. Said I had to put myself in timeout. Yep. I start with 1,000 and turn it into 2K. Exactly. That's why I don't like when they preload your demo accounts. So it's so much money. It's unreasonable, right? It's unrealistic. Now I could trade with 50,000 in the demo, and I could put it into proportions, into percentages in my head. You know, if it doesn't matter. One thing that, like, when I'm trading, especially demo, I don't even care what the money is. Now, you have your risk to reward ratio, stuff like that. I pay attention to that. But I'm looking at, like, did I make 5% on my trade? Did I make 50% on the trade? Did I make 500% on the trade? See, that's what's important to me. Anyways, Oracles often become centralized points of failure, powerful intermediaries, critical attack surfaces. Flare core insight was that Oracle should not be an external add-on. Flare foundational design choice. Flare was designed as a layer 1 blockchain with native data acquisition. Instead of asking, how do we plug oracles into the chain, Flare asked, what if data were the first class citizens of the protocol itself? This decision shaped everything that follows. The Flare Time Series Oracle, also known as FTSO. The FTSO is Flare's native Oracle system. So again, of course, if they're all about data, they're going to have an Oracle system. This is a big distinction of Flare and its ecosystem all around. So key characteristics. Data providers submit prices and data directly on chain. Providers are rewarded based on accuracy. Consensus is reached through weighted aggregation. This creates decentralized data sourcing, economic incentives aligned with correctness, reduced reliance on external Oracle layers. The Oracle is not a service, it's part of the protocol. Now, why native oracles changed the trust model? With native oracles, data feeds are secured by the network itself instead of a third party. Incentives are enforced at protocol level. Governance is integrated, not outsourced. This reduces attack vectors, coordination risk, dependency on external entities. It's fundamentally different trust architecture. Flare's broader vision. Trust minimalize interoperability. Flare was also designed to address interoperability without bridges. Most bridges lock assets, mint wrapped versions, and rely on multi-sig or trusted operators. This creates systemic risk. Flare answer was FAssets, which we're going to have a bunch of fun deep diving tonight. So as I was reading this, I was thinking a couple of different thoughts here. And because I just got a couple of my main people in here, I should have saw this coming, being New Year's, and I was just excited about going over this topic. So we will be doing this whole stream topic again at some point soon, right? It's not going to be like on Friday, or Sunday or anything like that, but it'll probably be in 2 weeks or so. I'm going to do this whole stream all over again. So I know Blues Guy will love it, but we don't have our normal people here, and a lot of them probably aren't going to go watch. And even if they do, I'm probably going to do it again because I love a lot of this information, and it's sad to me that a lot of our people aren't here, but that is actually on me because it is literally New Year's. Only thing sucks about demo, bro, is it's only cross. You're right, it is. I didn't even bother to look. That's so silly. Why wouldn't? Because, I mean, demo is really about, I guess it's all about trying different strategies and practicing. So why would you limit my strategies, right? Why would you limit my ability to practice here? Wonder what my liquidation was. What is my full liquidation here? 79,000. That's a distance away, right? All right, let's get back to where we were. So what FAssets, I was going to call them FAssets, what FAssets are. And my chat with ChatGPT that we use is so big that it takes a minute. It's a little laggy, but it's because of how big the chat is, right? And this says high level, right? FAssets are a system for bringing value from other chains onto Flare without traditional bridges. Instead of locking assets, FAssets use collateralization, economic guarantees, and protocol-enforced redemption. This turns interoperability into an economic system rather than a custodial one. Why this approach is slower but safer. Flare's design choices. Prioritize correctness over speed, favor protocol guarantees over convenience, and reduce hidden trust assumption. This makes Flare slower to market, less flashy, and harder to explain, but potentially more resilient over time. The early perception problem. Because Flare focused on infrastructure, progress was less visible, applications came later, and narratives lagged deployment. Flare didn't market a use case, it built a foundation, and that is end of our part 1. And usually we have a part 1, part 2, but I even had some other things additionally for us to go over. Let's get back into this chat. It says, no isolated, I prefer cross. You just got to know what you're doing when you're doing it, right? I've traded a lot of isolated. Then I traded cross for a long time. I got beat up a little bit. It was my own fault, of course. I did stupid things I shouldn't have. I was a young trader. And then I went back to isolated. And now at this point, I trade more isolated than anything. But there's some things I really like about cross. Here's what really killed me. If you know what mitigation is, right? So I took the Master Friends Leverage Mastery class, and that guy he's a wizard. He's a genius, right? But, and I don't mean but like he's not, but for whatever reason, I didn't understand mitigation well enough, because my understanding of mitigation at the time meant, like, if I put a couple $100 in, and then I added a couple $100, both on the same leverage, so they should kind of equal each other. I should come back to like a break even or a neutral zone, and from there, I should only need a 0.5% move to get me up. But I'm adding, $300 at like 100x leverage, mind you. And I have a portfolio of like, I don't know, $7 grand, $8 grand. And then I'm adding like $1,000 at 100x, and it's like barely moving my liquidation levels. And there's a lot of things to it too. You got to make sure you add in the margin. At that time, I don't think I really understood that. Anyways, that one guy, in my opinion, says, because I'm nuts, says Blue Sky, it's hilarious. Yeah, I mess with it sometimes, but you got to be more advanced to do it. I lost 1,700 on a cross trade exactly. I have a couple of strategies for cross trading that I really like, but you have to do it exactly the way it's supposed to do and not deviate from it at all. And that's hard to do. It's much harder than you think. Those emotions get running. Luckily, I moved out all of my other USDC before putting it on cross. It liquidated a whole green trade and what I had left in my wallet, RIP. So it liquidated a green trade. Wouldn't it have to be negative to get liquidated? But it humbled me. Yeah, for me too. What happened to me on cross, I lost $4,500. It was a hard hit. So underground, what is flare in your few words? Yeah, buddy, let's redo it, man. Yeah, I'm going to still kind of go over it here, but we're going to do it even better in the future, right? I caught you on the big screen. Cross is fine if you only have one trade. It makes no difference. That is right, Blues. That one guy says 2 years sober tomorrow. Shout out to you, man. Congratulations. That means that you must have gone, that must have been like a New Year's resolution or something like that, right? Camboy said he's at his sister's for the new year. Exactly. Low leverage best. Exactly. Yeah, that was in my 100x leverage trading. That's a whole other story I could tell another time. So this is part 2, and we're going to get right through it, because again, we're going to do this whole stream over, because I want to do it when we have all of our people here. So Flare as an EVM compatible network. Flare is EVM compatible, which means Solidity smart contracts, Solidity being the coding language, Ethereum tooling, familiar developer workflow. This lowers friction for builders while preserving Flare's unique data layer. What developers can do differently on Flare? And if you're asking me to sum it up into one word, I'd have to say data centric, right? It's very focused on data. What developers can do differently on Flare? Because, and if I had to literally use only one word, I would just say data. Because this data is native, developers can access price feeds directly, build data-driven applications, reduce Oracle integration complexity. This enables DeFi protocols with protocol-level data, applications that react to off-chain events as well, and experimentation with new economic design. Yeah, he says, bro, that is huge. Blues guy's at 8 years now. Says today is his sobriety day. Okay, so everybody did it around the New Year's. Dude, that's awesome. I'm never going to drink again, bro. That's awesome. I've been young and stupid with alcohol before, but I never really had a big problem with alcohol. I have a lot of friends who definitely, were in the same time period as me and then went on to have very, very big problems with alcohol. It's bad when, you guys have a good night of drinking, hanging out, and then you maybe overdid it a little bit, right? And then you wake up the next morning and like they're already up with like a beer in their hand. You're just like, whoa. No. The role of data provider in the ecosystem. So data providers are a core actor class. They submit data, earn rewards, participate in governance. This creates data economy, not just validator economy. So on most blockchains, you have a lot of validator economy, right? Because everybody's kind of battling for validation because validation is where the money is, right? Governance and incentives. So that's kind of interesting to hear. I want to hear more about the incentives through the data, centered network. Flare governance coordinates protocol upgrades, reward perimeters, and ecosystem direction. Incentives are structured to reward accuracy, penalize manipulation, encourage long-term participation. This aligns data integrity with network health. Ecosystem applications and use cases. So Flare ecosystems focus on DeFi protocols using native data, interoperability tools, analytics, and data-driven applications. Use cases are infrastructure heavy rather than consumer facing. Flare versus traditional Oracle methods. So let's put them to the test. Let's compare them. Says, I'm just ready to change my life for better in every way that I can. Hey, and I support that all the way, man, 100%. Compared to external Oracle systems, Flare integrates data at the protocol level, reduces dependency chain, simplifies trust assumption. The trade-off is flexibility versus integration. Where Flare fits in the broader crypto landscape. Flare does not compete directly with high-throughput execution chain, consumer-focused layer 2 speculative DeFi ecosystem. It occupies a niche focused on data integrity. I want to say data integration, but no, it's data integrity, meaning that the data is good, interoperability, and infrastructure reliability. So why Flare is often overlooked? Flare is often overlooked because it avoids hype narratives, which in the long run, in my opinion, is a huge positive. It prioritizes invisible infrastructure. Its value is indirect. Infrastructure tends to matter more over time than at the launch. The long game Flare is playing. So Flare is positioned for data-heavy applications, cross-chain coordination, systems that require reliable external inputs. The success depends less on trends and more on whether data becomes central to blockchain design. So the core story of Flare. Flare is a bet on the idea that blockchains will eventually be judged not just by what they execute, right? But I'm messing this all up. But by what they can reliably know. So blockchains will eventually be judged not just by what they execute, but by what they can reliably know. So data is not just computation, becomes the bottleneck. Flare chooses to build for that future early. That seems like it was written weird. Data, not just computation, becomes the bottleneck. Flare choose to build for that future early? I don't know. I feel like that was written really weird. This is ChatGPT, by the way. So then I asked it to now give me information about the main projects in the Flare ecosystem like SparkDeck, Firelight, etc. So first it comes talking about SparkDecks, and this is something that we're going to spend quite a bit of time over tonight. So underground, with the real UGs, please stand up. That's hilarious. I love that. Even in deep divers, don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe to the channel. Absolutely do that. Even if you're used to being here, go make sure you actually hit the like button because it could be easy to hop in and miss it. Show me your container of what you're sipping on right now. I see you're trying to hide it. Hide what? What was I drinking? I got 3 different drinks. I got a Wawa coffee. that I've been meaning to finish. Wawa is a gas station. I don't think they have those in Canada. Then I got creatine and electrolytes here with some Celtic salt in it, because I had just taken my activated charcoal and L-theanine. And then I got zero sugar cream soda. Clove water sounds really good. I like clove water. Said man, bro. All right, so SparkDex. SparkDex is the primary decentralized exchange DEX on the Flare ecosystem. That's what you want to know. That's why I highlighted it. He says I'm going to be on you. That's hilarious. Yeah, I got to get some like glass water bottles or something like that. I know you were talking about that the other day. Ditch the plastic. Exactly. But it's hard to be like, gas station, make my espresso coffee in a glass water bottle. I don't think they would do it. Anyways, they are the main exchange on the Flare ecosystem. I spent quite a bit of time today with Blues Guy checking out. SparkDex was a lot of what we went over everything, but SparkDex is what we spent a lot of time on. It's really cool. We're going to be using it just like how I was using Weeks for demo trading. I'm going to be using SparkDex quite a bit for like actual trading. So SparkDex is the primary decentralized exchange. Its role is to provide on-chain trading, liquidity provisions, and price discovery. Now, what makes SparkDex notable on Flare is its ability to integrate directly with Flare's native Oracle data, reduce dependency on external price feeds, and enable a more reliable automated market maker mechanic. SparkDex acts as a core liquidity layer, a foundation for DeFi activity, and a testing ground for Flare's data-centric design. Rather than competing on speed or novelty, SparkDex emphasizes stability and integration with Flare's native data infrastructure. Firelight is Flare's staking and governance interface. Its primary function is to allow Flare holders to delegate to data providers, and Firelight is also a lot about staking your wrapped FXRP, which is your wrapped XRP, right? Participation in the Flare Time Series Oracle, or the FTSO system, earn rewards for supporting accurate data submission. Firelight is critical because Flare Oracle system relies on delegation. Governance and data accuracy are economically linked. Participation is simplified through a unified interface. Firelight turns token holders into network participants, passive ownership into active coordination. It is less an application and more a control surface for Flare's data economy. He says, I'm going to be a ditch the plastic, ditch aluminum, stop, I'm mad, copper or glass. Yeah, I don't know how it works out in Canada where you're at, but tell me, this is it, because I have another segment where it is the the Blues health question of the day, and we did it before, but I'm going to bring it back. What is the best way to get water that it doesn't come at some point in plastic? And here's another question, because what a lot of people will tell you is, they have those machines at the grocery store or whatever, you bring your own containers and it fills it up. Well, where did that water come from? Because all the water that was in plastics goes back into the system, has been for a long time now, right? BPAs and stuff like that. And so with that, the water coming out of all that stuff, they don't have good filters in those things that filter microplastics, right? That's totally different. So how do I get water that doesn't have microplastics in it? Rainwater? Do I have to reverse osmosis my own rainwater? As I might do that. I'm hardcore enough to do something like that. Anyways, Blues Guy, what is your answer? Let me know. Stop the excuses. It ain't hard. You make it hard. Gas station coffee, LOL. Maybe you wait or carry the freaking glass cup in the car. Yeah, the thing is that even if I have the glass cup, they're not going to make my drink in the glass cup. All right, Flare all the way, Firelight, Stake XRP, Flare Link ETH Network on Ledger, Flare Link ETH Network, and Ledger. I'm getting it. 3S, 3-stage filter, homemade simple. I'm gonna have to do the research on that. So you're saying a simple homemade 3-stage filter will remove microplastics? Because from my research, Blues Guy, microplastics are the most difficult thing to remove from water, like, period. Anyways, we're going to move on. We're going to keep talking about Flare, right, in its ecosystem. So Flare Time Series Oracle, FTSO, while not a traditional project, FTSO is a core economic engine of the Flare ecosystem. FTSO aggregates price and data submissions, rewards accuracy, and penalizes manipulation. It enables DeFi protocols to rely on native data, reduces Oracle trust assumptions, protocol level data availability, DA, which you see a lot, data availability. Many Flare ecosystem applications are built around FTSO rather than merely consuming it. So they're contributing and not just using something, right? FAssets system. FAssets represent Flare's approach to trust minimized interoperability, things working together. Instead of bridges, FAssets use collateralization, economic guarantees, and protocol enforcement. This allows assets from other chains to be represented on Flare without custodial bridges, multi-sigs, or wrapped token risk. I think it's a really cool idea. FAssets are foundational infrastructure rather than end-user applications. It says use tap water, use pitcher filter that filters fluoride and chlorine. Then the same water filtered from the pitcher, pour into copper pot or glass pot with little pieces of copper and let it sit for 24 hours. Okay, I'm waiting for the rest of the recipe here, Blues Guy. So Oracle providers. Data providers. So data providers are first-class participants in Flare. They submit price and data feed, earn rewards through accuracy, and compete within the FTSO system. This creates a decentralized data market, incentive-aligned Oracle participation, and an ecosystem where data is economically valued. Many projects in Flare are actually data operators. DeFi protocols building on Flare beyond Spark DEX. Flare supports lending protocols, yield strategies, and asset management tools. These protocols benefit from native Oracle access, predictable data availability, reduced Oracle integration complexity, and the ecosystem favors infrastructure aligned DeFi rather than risk experimentation. NFTs and utility projects. Flare also supports NFT platforms, tooling for tokenized assets, data-driven NFTs. These projects leverage low fees, EVM compatibility, native data feeds. NFTs on Flare tend to focus on utility and integration, not speculation. All right, everybody, roll call. Roll call right now. I want to see who's still on the stream. I think this is really important because this is going to kind of decide where we go here in a couple of minutes. Because I can see the viewership. One of them I know is me on my phone. The other one is probably my wife. There's only 5 people. And I'm not mad at nobody. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want to continue on too much if we're just wasting our time here. And we will bring this. I'll bring it back. Like, honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring this stream back on like a Saturday. It'd be a really good idea. I have a lot planned out for it. This is going to be like a 5-hour stream, and I don't want to do that all for nothing. So that one guy, okay, he's here. Blues Guy is here. All right, where are we at? Your water will be free of bacteria and electrified and structured copper. Is that good? You have no idea. Copper will keep water clean forever. Never bad, never murky, always good, free of bacteria. I know. You know what I need, Blues Guy? I need like a copper gallon pitcher. That's what I need. I'll find one. Full of copper. Your brain is half copper, half carbon. We stop the flare tonight. We continue later in a few days. Yeah, and when we do it again, we're going to do it again. Like, I'm going to start over with everything that I read. I think the weekends a lot of times tend to be pretty good. But the problem with the weekends is we start later, right? On the weekends, we start at like 10 p.m. And I do that, obviously, because the lifer, I watch him at like 8:30. And, you know, we're all lifers for the most part. It says Craigslist, bro. Bro, I haven't used Craigslist in a hot minute. It's crime ridden where I'm at. Anyways, I have a lot of other means, right? I got marketplace and all kinds of stuff. I'll buy it off eBay. Also, I'll probably just find it. I found a lot of actually really cool copper cups and water bottles and stuff like that, right? We go showing later. Today you read. Right. Well, I'm going to read a lot of this stuff as well. It's going to be, but what I think I'm going to do, see, what I was going to do originally is I was going to read the first part, which really wasn't that long. And then I was going to go and actually go to FAssets. I already had it up. And then I was going to kind of go through, like, you know, if you want to deal with the Flare ecosystem, you know, you got to have Flare first. Once you have Flare, you can come over here, look at your pools or your mint. Sorry, go to mint. So I was going to go through all of that, right? And then I was going to go back to home and go to the bottom where we have our Spark decks, Kinetic, Firelight, and those things. So if anybody's watching this who's not a regular member and in the future, just understand we're going to do this again really soon. I did this to myself in October for Halloween, right? I did this to myself during Halloween. I decided to do like a 6-hour stream on Halloween thinking, you know, there's got to be some people at home on their computers on Halloween. Honestly, the turnout was very small. Just my main people. And I'm not mad at anybody. It's me. I chose a bad day to do this because I was excited about it. But I really want the community and people to really see this. And I don't want to expect everybody to just like go watch an additional stream when that stream is like 4 hours, right? How well are they going to be paying attention? It's better if we do it all live. So I'll open Spark Decks just for a minute. I'm not going to explain it or go over it. Just wanted to show it. Just really wanted to show the perps, the perpetual part of it. What? I'm in a restricted area? Bro, say it ain't so. Access the following from the United States. Okay, so it looks like maybe I'm gonna... Did you know about this, Blues Guy? I'm glad I actually brought this up. So I can't use the perps if I am from the United States? That is garbage. I wonder why that is. I mean, obviously it's regulation and stuff, but that really sucks. I guess I'm going to have to turn on a VPN for that. All right. Demo of the ecosystem when there's more peeps. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do what you got to do, bro. I'm here. I forgot that was bottom all those apps. So that one guy says, wow. Blues guy says, wait. And it's cool, of course. Happy New Year's, everybody. I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm complaining or like people owe me and they need to be here over holidays and Christmas. I'm not saying none of that. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm just saying if they're not here, we'll hold off. We'll do it when they are here because there's plenty of days where we have great turnout. We still went over a lot of stuff. Melissa said Palau ID. I have a Palau ID for sure. Well, he said go to swap. All right, we'll go to swap. Or pool. All right, we're at swap. I wasn't going to go through everything, but I mean, what do you want me to look at? Try to swap. Well, I don't have a wallet connected. You know what I mean? I don't even have a wallet connected. I'm not going to get into all this right now because we're going to do this literally. Whew, let's see. Probably going to do it on Tuesday. Like I said, I had a lot in store. I had a lot of things I was going to go over. So let's just do it on Tuesday. That'll be, what'll Tuesday be? Let's see. Tuesday will be the 6th. So it'll be like the 6th. You know, once we get past this New Year's, we don't have a bunch of holidays coming up. Everybody's going to be back to work after, you know, the weekend. And it is what it is. Everybody's going to be back to being locked in. Try to swap, see if it works. I don't have anything to swap, I don't think. I mean, I could connect like my MetaMask for sure. I have to log in, I'm sure. All right, I'm connected, but all of my Flare that I have is literally already staked, right? So all the flare that I have available is staked in the pool, right? Yep. About $40 because it's gone down a little bit. I think it was closer to 50 before. But yeah, I don't know what the heck. I don't have any flare to get started with. What do I have in my ETH wallet? I have like I don't know, maybe the tiniest bit of ETH, a couple meme coins or something like that. Yeah. So again, if I go to tokens, you guys can't see it. I mostly have some base meme coins. I have like $10 in ETH. I don't think you can move anything from ETH. I'd have to go get flare first, right? So it says no worries. No, I saw you have some. Look, yes you do. Oh, I guess you're right. Oh, because don't you have to? It's like $3. Okay. No, you're right. I do. So flare into what? What are we going to move flare into? Yeah, I see it. What are we going to move it into? Swap 5. I like that they have the half. And what am I swapping into? Because if I'm going to do anything on here, I'd like to hit this wrapped flare in this USTO. That would be cool. I would take half of it and do that. STXRP. We still here being consistent. Yeah, that one guy. I always take note of who is, but I know a lot of people got a lot of things going on. And then you have like another big thing is like there's lots of people during the stream that click in, maybe drop a comment, maybe they don't, maybe they'll stay for a while. But being New Year's, they're all out doing other stuff. So we'll go to this STXRP. And what did we say? We'd do like 5. And we'll go ahead and swap. Impact price. What are we paying? A 0.1% swap fee. And approving over on MetaMask. It has been approved. It's been validated. It's successful. We swapped. All right. What do you want me to do next? Wait. Okay. Waiting. Says I'm home solo relaxing. That's what's up. Oh, I'm waiting, Blues guy. I'm chilling. You tell me what you want me to do next. Wait, don't what? Don't wait? I'm not sure. I swapped 5 flare, so I mean it was like a value of $2 or something. Right? I feel you. Said, okay, click on one and you'll see the list. Yeah. Clicked on one, I see the list. Of which you have. Yep, I have STXRP. And I have flare. Click on flare. Okay. So we're going to swap flare into flare. So click on flare. Okay, I did that. And you'll see a list. I'll see a list after I click on flare. Right. And then you click on flare and we're gonna swap flare into flare. Swap the other. So you're saying swap the FXRP into flare? For the one I want in the farm. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I follow. I definitely follow that. Because then I can just hit half, right? And then I'm going to have the perfect thing. So under flare, you want this USTO. So we'll go to swap. I was going to do that, but then you were trying to tell me something, so I didn't want to like do some random other thing. We have this USTO. I'm going to swap half here. I don't know if it'll still be half after we swap it, though. We're going to go ahead and hit swap. And then we're going to go put it into the farm. Hopefully I get this right. Hopefully this is what he was saying, because that was what I was planning on doing from the get-go. Transaction failed. It was reverted, probably because there wasn't enough flare to do the actual transaction. Okay. Let's try again. He says no, and it failed again. All right. Blues guy, you can type more than one word. I know that we got to run the chat up, and I appreciate that. But like, if you're trying to tell me something complex, just like type it out. Tell me the farm you want. Yeah, the farm is USTO and wrapped flare. I do have a lot of experience using farms and pools. So you need 50-50. You need 50% flare and 50% USTO. Okay. I mean, feel free to explain it again. I don't know what you need to explain, though. Obviously, the swap wasn't swapping because there's barely any money and it doesn't cover the transaction fee. All right. So he says, tell me which farm combo you want. I want USTO and flare. Still waiting. He says wait. Trust me, I'm waiting by default. Just swap both. I assume by just swap both you mean... Not even sure what you mean, actually. Oh, I'm not mad at all, bro. Blues guy, come on, man. I'm not mad at all. I'm just waiting, and I'm not sure what you're getting at here. Because you say just swap both, like just go and hit half. Obviously, I have to turn it down a little bit because you need to leave some flare to cover your fee. Hey, bankroll, don't be doing that. He says wait. Maybe he's serious, but I think he's playing around. All right, and so let me just turn this down. Let's just say I want to do like 100 and 100, or like 120 and 120, and then that should leave me enough for sure. Go half on flare. I did that already, but it wouldn't pass because there wasn't enough money for the transaction fee is my assumption. That's my assumption anyway. It's what happens when you are, you know, trying to split $3 in half over here. It doesn't tend to work. See, yeah, that's what it was. There wasn't enough money for the transaction fee. Now we swapped half, right? Now we should be able to go to farm. And we will go to the one that we want. And we will find the one that we want and add. It'll take us over here where you had already said that we had to go. Bro, what? What are we stopping? It just redirects you to pools is what it does. I can just go straight to pools. I get that. Just go to pools. Dual deposit. Select the tokens. We want or not. Okay. Oh, I get what he's saying. you have to swap this into wrapped flare. I think that's what he's trying to say here. Hey, I don't know how I'm impossible, man. Maybe your directions weren't all that clear. So, yeah. So first we need some wrapped flare, right? So this is how generally I do it. It's $1.24 in USTO. So we need at least $1.24. And it'll tell us exactly. Okay, so we want like $1, like maybe $1.50. There we go. Yeah, I definitely got it. I would have got over to the pool and realized it. You could have just said, or maybe you did. Maybe I didn't get it because you were putting flare. Let me see. Let me go back. Let's see. Also, yeah, Melissa was right. You could have just called me. But that whole time you could have just said swap flare for wrapped flare. And I would have known what you meant. But I could see how you missed the W in the chat, and then I think you're saying swap flare for flare. All right, so there we go. Now we got it done. We want to go to pools. Token, hit our wrap flare. Other token, hit our USTO. Bang, bang. We want the ARP boosted, just like we talked about. Common was what you had talked about. Let's see. So current pool status. Let's see what you're saying. There you go. We really like a family. Oh, the Brady Bunch. No, just go half. No need to think like that. Brady Bunch. LOL. I said both. But like you didn't explain what both is. I don't know what both means. Anyways, with this, I don't exactly know what the heck I should be doing with this thing. So this is 62%, that's 42%, 42% of what? So this is like your risk profit. I see it's changing the profit and the risk. Interesting. Yeah, he said swap both. But to be more clear, you could have been like swap flare for wrapped flare. Oh, now he's calling me. What's up, man? I got you on speakerphone. What's up, man? What's up, man? Talk to me.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Cool. Yep. Okay, going back to farm. Okay, I'm at the farm. Yeah, it takes a minute. There's like a 30-second delay in the stream. Yep. Yep. Right. Go. I have add. Here, you're looking at it. The stream will catch up. The top one. The one with the most percentage. Right. And that takes us where we were. Yep. Right. Yeah, I already had that selected. Got you. All right, cool. And then you do full range or common? Common is better, he says. All right, let's go over to common. Okay. And then, yeah, then we're good to go, right? So then we... Yeah, I see that. Yep, your risk and profit. Yep, so move it to where it's higher risk, higher profit. Where am I moving it to? Okay. Right. Right, so there we go, and I'm going to adjust this. All right, cool. I think I got it. So if you're outer range, you're not in the pool? Okay, and that's what you adjust with the slide bar? Yeah, I was going to fix that. Right, you want them to match though, right? They're 50-50. Right, I just wanted to put more than that in, but I guess it doesn't matter because it's like... Right. Got you, but shouldn't the value amount in US dollars match each other? Right. Something like that, yep. Right. I was talking about matching in the dollar value, not in the amount of tokens. It's $1.05. 62 cents. Oh, whoops. I already messed it up. Let's go back to half. There we go. Max. Yep. Right. Got you. So I'll go ahead and just approve them and then add them to liquidity. Right, and I'm gonna do this again when I actually have a couple more dollars. This was just what I had in there. Right, but I think it's just a regulation around perpetuals. All right, man. Cheers. All right, so we did it. We added the liquidity. And again, we're going to revisit all this stuff. I'm going to actually have, like $50 to put in the next time that we do this and whatnot. So I'm actually going to have my wallet ready to do, to stake some more flare and stuff like that too. So again, kind of a bit of a fizzle tonight because it's New Year's. That's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. And since we're not doing the whole big stream that I thought we were doing, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream. Everybody enjoy their New Year's. And if you want, hit me in the Discord if anybody want to chat or anything like that. And other than that, have a great New Year's. We'll be back tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. So we'll have a fresh stream for Thursday, and then we're going to revisit all this on Tuesday. I don't want to do them back-to-back like that. It'll be confusing in the, in the search on YouTube. Everybody have a great night. Stay underground. Stay crypto. I'm not going to play Panzer since we have, we kind of just summoned this up and we're going to do it again. I have a bunch of things. I have quite a few things I need to do. So we won't play Panzers tonight, even though I really want to. I got stuff with my other business I got to do. So shout out to everybody who's here. I appreciate you all. I will open my one box real quick before I hop off. And again, if anybody really wanted to chat or something like that, I could chat with you while I'm working. A Spartan chassis. Then we got to go turn around and get something good. Let me look at that. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know if it's good. Chassis. Wait, are these chassis? No, this is a chassis. What's a Spartan chassis? Oh man, it's not as damage from shock. Yeah, it's not as good as a shark, that's for sure. Max HP. Oh yeah. Minuses your max HP by 300, but gives you 150 shield. But my shark already only takes away 15% HP and gives me a 200 shield. All right, so we don't want that. All right, guys, stay underground, stay crypto. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody have a good New Year's, and we will pick up where we left off on Tuesday.